your brisket trimming?
Yeah. Is this clean?
Yeah, I had just poured a little salt. No, I had poured some stuff in there and it was clean. It was like the leftover salt and pepper, but I figured let's just start this. Yeah. I don't think you got enough protein bars.
Yeah. Hey, welcome to the stream. We'll put in my AirPods so that way you can hear me better. Excuse me.
Get that out of here.
Yeah, that's not a great time for that. Thank you. So welcome to the stream today. I know you guys have been asking for a new video. Oh, also, Lewis, can you tell me if you can hear me? Let me know in chat. With the old plus sign. Alright, Tuppence Bog. Yeah, dude, same. Hey, if you're ever wondering about any of the gear that I use, you can just use the links below in my profile. Today we're going to be using HEB Texas Tough pink butcher paper. Hashtag sponsored. Okay, good. Thank you. Yeah. So many things, right, that we do with meat are better, like when the meat is at room temperature, like when you're grilling it on the grill, or when you are trying to, I don't know, handle it in some instances. Thank you for the chat engagement. Trimming is one of those things that's best done when the meat is still cold, so that way it doesn't, it's less likely to kind of pull and tear and not work. So what I have here is a Prime 1 beef, piece of beef brisket. You can see Packer style. Packer style just means that it's no longer attached to the cow, but there's still plenty of trimming to be done. Prime is one of those things where, I don't know, I think it's worth it. Also just because like the marginal cost is so low. But major tools for what we're doing for this is just a regular ass boning knife. This one is from IKEA. Again, you can always see my links down below in chat. You need the brisket. I've got butcher paper out underneath to be able to help with the mess. It's not going to be perfect, but it'll be fine.
Okay, I just confirmed that Franklin does use Morton's kosher brand.
Cases let me know that
Morton's kosher.
Morton does, or Franklin does use Morton's kosher brand.
Which I happen to know is a more dense version of kosher salt than Diamond Crystal.
Denser than the one that we like to use, but what can you do?
I'll increase the ratio of salt and pepper.
Alright, thanks baby.
Instead of 50-50
Yeah.
it'll be.
So Franklin, Aaron Franklin, eponymous owner of the famed barbecue joint, just does like a 50-50 sort of like rub on this, which is also what I tend to do, because that's where I learned a lot of this stuff from. But Morgan was just telling me that the salt density that he likes to use is a little bit higher, so she's going to up the ratio of salt in the thing that we're putting together. Pull this out very carefully. It's about a 15-pound brisket. One of the challenges I have the most with doing this in my own space is sometimes hitting the brisket on top here on the cabinet, which means that I gotta like Lysol wipe my cabinet. Not always ideal, but what can you do?
I'm sensing a theme, but what can you do?
Is this one of those not safe for work channels? Yeah, dude, definitely. If you work at a vegetarian restaurant, you might be fired for streaming this while stuff is going on. Alright, I'll pick up this brisket and put it down upside down. There it is. You can see it's a thick boy. If you like thick boys, you're gonna have a good time on this stream. Alright, let me wash my hands real fast so that way I can show you all this piece of beef. So let's pick this up. Here's Cakes.
Oh, hello.
Maybe she says, hey, Stella and Ricky aren't with their real dad, aka Daniel Tiger right now. All right.
You mean Dad Tiger?
Dad Tiger. Yeah. So you can see some good marbling, especially here down in the flat, especially right toward the cut. Not a ton, honestly, I think, I've seen it with more fat, I guess, is what I'm saying. It's still a prime cut, so you're not going to have a bad time. But that said, this fat cap is not huge, so I don't expect to take a whole lot off up here. You're looking for like, what, a quarter of an inch, half an inch?
I mean, you want it to be about a quarter of an inch.
About a quarter of an inch.
Of fat.
Of fat.
So barely take off on that point.
Yeah, so I'm not going to take too much off there. Off the flat, definitely more. You keep hearing about the decal. That's this awkward thing in here. And the reason, again, that we do trim, like, obviously the meat is, like, works really well when it's got fat in it, but some of the fat's just not going to cook. And so that's the fat we try and take off when we trim it. Probably gonna barbecue this tomorrow. Hoop, thanks again for jumping on stream. If you can, swing by tomorrow. I'd love to serve you some.
Yeah, we can put you in the social distancing corner.
Yeah, Morgan says we can put you in the... instead of calling it the social distancing corner, I'm gonna call it the Bud Light corner.
Right, sorry.
Presentado for Bud Light. Alright, so...
Can we call it Bud Light con un twist corner?
Bud Light con un twist corner.
How do you say corner in Spanish?
Cornero, I believe. That's how you say it.
Cornero, got it.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Some people, you could probably watch some streams or some videos, and people are going to just, like, cut, like, really hard or really, like, they know what they're doing. I prefer to go slower and do...
So there is an advantage to having cold fat.
Yeah, we talked about that already on the stream, darling. Morgan was just reiterating that there is an advantage to having cold fat.
It's part of why the pros try to go fast.
Yeah.
Also just at the same time.
All right, Morgan is being helpful. I'm just playing.
There is an advantage to speed.
There is an advantage to speed. I'm not going to disagree.
Trimming your first brisket and you take 25 minutes, you will lose some of that advantage of the cold fat.
Yeah. All right, yeah. And hot stuff does still cut. It just cuts like slightly less safely. So you can see, like, this is an example of the kind of fat that we just don't want. And so, yeah, it's kind of like an expedition in a way. We're trying to cut lower and lower each time, but not so low that you're getting to the good stuff. That's that stuff right there. Oh, so yeah, so now I kind of like to go after the fat cap first, just to help, like, acquaint myself with whatever piece of meat I'm working on. And then we'll work our way sort of around the side and kind of carve out that decal. That has some fun cutting, I think, associated with it, but it's not too bad. In other news, Stella and I just had a big trip to Costco, where she got to be a big girl, kind of wearing her mask. Oh yeah. So, like, and this is why, like, you should never be afraid when it's like, oh hey, you know, 15-pound brisket, 20-pound brisket. So you're cutting off, like, you know, pound-sized pieces like this. How do you choose your briskets? Hey, great question. Yeah, keep those questions coming in the chat, please. So first, you know, I'd say picking a brisket is a little bit like falling in love. Which is to say, if it's your first time, you should definitely pay for it. You know, choose a professional. No, I'm just playing. I guess at this point, so when I was just getting started, February was right when I started doing briskets. I'd definitely just buy, like, the cheapest ones as I was getting going at HEB. I'd say at this point, it's just, like, such a cheap piece of meat, and it's so hard to truck it up to the point where, like, people aren't going to eat it. So I'd say do, like, just buy prime, look for something that has good marbling in it. And again, marbling just means, like, can you see juicy, thick with 2 C's, veins of fat, kind of running through it. And so that's sort of like, in all other things being equal, what I look for. That again, that approach does not assume that, oh my goodness,
Ricky?
Does not assume that
Do you need some help?
cost is going to be a big concern, but even then, it's like the difference between a not prime steak, not prime brisket and a prime brisket, if you're doing like in the 15-pound range, is only like $30. And that's just like, that's not that much.
I think
That's like a
he's
30
in the
rack.
middle of using it, so let him have his turn.
I don't know which one is better though.
Of what?
Oh, to buy a 30 rack or a nicer brisket.
Oh yeah, that's a tough call. That's a really individual, subjective preference
it is a
kind
really
of thing.
individual subjective preference. So you can see I'm just like chopping along. This is my clean hand, so I'll use it to kind of bring you around. This is the brisket. This white part is kind of where I've been cutting. You can see this here. How thick am I leaving the fat cap? I don't know. I like minimally, it's 1/4 of an inch, I think, that you want along the top. Now, because this guy, and if you're just joining the chat, I'll bring it back. This guy has okay marbling, but not amazing. So I might be inclined to leave a little bit more on, but we'll play it by ear. Like you can see all of this stuff is gonna come out down here because that stuff's not gonna render in the cook. So yeah, we'll just keep kind of like chipping away at it.
And why doesn't that render in the cook?
Bro, I don't know. Morgan just asked me.
I think I do.
Morgan asked me, why doesn't that render in the cook?
I think it was just too thick.
Yeah.
The heat can't get to it.
And she contends it's because the heat can't get through it.
It like just it would take so long.
And that makes sense because we are cooking these at a pretty low temperature. Oh, okay. So like this is one of those like, if you were better at this than I am, as most people are, you probably wouldn't make a mistake like this. And it's not even really a mistake. That's the nice thing. Brisket, it's great because it's low, you're just not gonna get punished, like in the scheme of things. But like I just cut through a little bit more. Like, is that okay in the scheme of things? Totally. It also gives me a more empirical sense of how deep I want to end up cutting here. So there are no mistakes, they're just learning opportunities.
Been watching some Daniel Tiger today.
Bro, yeah, we've been watching a lot of Daniel Tiger today.
It's okay to make mistakes. Remember that one?
No, I don't even know that song. Apparently Daniel Tiger, to the surprise of nobody, has a song about saying it's okay to make mistakes.
Try to get better and learn from them too.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Oh, that's right. So now, it's been a couple of months since I've done a brisket, so I think that's part of why I'm moving a little bit more slowly. But it's coming along. Yeah, keep those questions coming in chat. On our Twitch, in the Twitch partner program, they tell us that, you know, it's all about audience engagement to really build a sustained community. So y'all tell me stuff, and then I'll tell you that I don't know.
In your discussion of choosing the brisket, did you say the magic words? It really starts with.
Oh no, I didn't say it. So one of the most obnoxious things I think in food. Writing, journalism, etc., or like anytime there's a gosh darn press release about anything, is when they're like, "But chef, like, what's your big secret? Like, how are you doing this? You know, why is your restaurant so hot right now?" And like every chef, like with this smug look on their face, just turns to the camera and says, "It all starts with the ingredients." I can't stand it, but it is partially true. That is one of the reasons we do prefer the prime steak. All right. You can see, grab y'all with the camera here in just a second. I think the inside of my hands are fine. You can see the Menchaca kitchen is still open for takeout even during COVID while dining rooms are closed, so Cakes is getting just getting the chicken ready. But yeah, let's take a look. You can see, kind of leaving just a little bit of that fat there. I'm gonna end up excising this here in just a second. I might take a little bit more off right here, and then when I flip it over, you'll see we'll get after some of that juicy stuff, but I'm starting to feel good about it. And if I truck it up, that's the nice thing about brisket, is it's a very forgiving piece of meat. Do I have a big weenie? No, but I can recommend some excellent sausage mongers if you take my drift. All right. What's in my rub? It's we just do like half salt, half pepper, except like slightly more salt. So I'm gonna turn this bad boy around. Oh, look at that. I'm gonna flip it around just like that. And this part, my hands are all gross, so I can't really show you right now. But this is the, let me see if I can move this tape. Oh no! All right. See if I can do it without dumping a bunch. I think y'all can see it maybe a little bit here. This part right here is what's known as the decal. So when you're at HEB and they're like showing you different cuts of meat, it's like, oh yeah, the decal's already moved, but really it's just like this kind of weird part that sits underneath the point. And they want to charge you like an extra $2 a pound for the whole brisket just because they like removed one piece, which is absurd to me. And so the way kind of we're gonna do it is we're just gonna like do a lot of kind of slow slices, but with the point of our knife. It's kind of easy to remember that way, sort of the point for the point. When you get to that decal, we're just gonna like chop that bad boy out. It kind of goes underneath the flat a little bit. Again, this is all just fat that's not gonna render, so we don't really need it. For smoking, I find that most briskets I cook, regardless of how big they are, end up taking about 9 hours, and it's gonna be about 6 hours unfolded, or 6 hours unwrapped. I think, actually, I'll have to double check my notebook, because again, it has been a while, this whole like COVID thing and just living at home in San Antonio for so long. I've lost some of my instant timings. See, that's not so bad. But yeah, I'd anticipate somewhere around 9 hours. So that's good. You know, you wake up, get your fire going. Fire takes, 45 minutes, an hour to get rolling. Put the brisket on, checking that temperature, especially for me early on, just because I got like a cheaper cooker. It's the sort of thing I want to check like fairly regularly early on in the cook, and then, kind of just like leave it alone. But we like to say, if you're looking, it ain't booking. It's actually an old Yiddish proverb, I believe. Oh yeah. Oh man, I don't know if I just sharpened this knife or the meat is just being cooperative today, or it's just being helpful on account of not being quite as marbled as I'd like otherwise, but that's good. It was really good for us. So yeah, that's like a fat amount of decal coming out. Have I considered an overnight smoke? Yeah, dude, I've thought about it, especially when we were getting ready for like Ricky's party back in February. Oh, now that I'm looking at it, I'm getting a little bit more of this off. Sorry, I should get a tripod for my camera if I do this full time. Ah! I'm gonna stay back on there. Okay. But I've thought about it, but like, what am I gonna do with a brisket in the morning? I guess if we were like tailgating something, and it was like, oh yeah, like, we're gonna be up and partying at like 8 a.m. I might think about an overnight smoke, but I haven't had the need to yet. All right, good, so here we are. I'll wash my hands so I can pick up all of them. And it's a hot one. Hoover, I don't know how it was, or Hoover usually, I don't know how it was on the road today. Lewis and Rigmar, and even on the road a little bit. Of course, I don't know what it's like in Denver, but it's like 10 a.m. and it was already cresting 100 with the heat wave. Like my woman with plenty of decal. Well, good. If she needs extra, it's all right here. But that's what the side of the brisket looks like with the kind of with the decal out. And I think there's like some other small pieces I could probably pull off right here. But for the most part, just when you see how kind of like lean on the whole this is, I'm a little like, this tells me that I might be interested in wrapping it a little bit earlier, just so that way I'm not getting burnt, because there's not as much fat sort of protecting the meat there. My instinct, just from doing this not too many times, I'm not going to self-describe as an expert, but it tells me that I might consider just like, yeah, not wrapping it too early. Okay, so now I'm gonna flip this over. Trying to do it in a way that keeps my hands clean. That way I can pick up my phone and show y'all some more. All right, good. So here's the bottom, what I consider to be the bottom of the brisket, the side that does not have the fat cap. There's going to be 2 other big pockets of fat we're going to take out right here with some of that same like knife point forward motion. Probably get a little bit more off here. And you can see like there is definitely good marbling here on this side of the flat as it starts to turn into the point. So I feel really good about that. But that said, kind of here around the edges, you know, it's not as obvious to me. So that's just like the decision I'm going to make. Most decisions I make, for those of you who know me, are wrong. So, an important thing that at least I really like about barbecuing is that I keep a journal. And after every single cook and during it, I'm like writing down my timings, my reflections, you know, what do I want to do differently next time. And so this may be one of those lessons as well. And Mama Cakes, do we have some mix ready to go? Cakes, do we have some rub ready to go? Yeah. Okay, cool. Thank you. Yeah, so you can see, and this is, again, like, don't worry about perfect. Like, I obviously got some meat on this one, but, like, it's like a 16-pound piece of meat, so I'm not stressing out about it. All right, let's see if I can keep turning this a little bit more, make it easier for y'all to see. Yeah, there we go. So again, sort of with that knife forward, lets me just like get into it super quickly. You can see like this is just all white everything. We can just like excise that completely. And we'll just like keep kind of, it is an inelegant way to feel your way through a piece of meat, I agree. Just to do it by like feeling it through with your knife, because obviously like you're gonna have some error there, but it's the goal is not to be perfect, or at least for me anyway. There are others who probably it is, and so like there's probably a better way to do this, but truck it, you know what I'm saying? I just need to be my authentic self. Oh my God. All right. So that's good. Yeah, you can just use like sort of these sweeping motions with the tip of your knife to just get further and further down, but in kind of smaller and smaller increments. Good way, sort of like get all this out. Feels good. Yeah, this meat is still nice and cold, even on a hot day like today. There's just so much of it. It's so dense. Ooh, yeah. It's still beefy very nicely for me, which helps to reduce my risk of injury, which is helpful. You can tell it's sort of looking like a fiesta a bit in here. But again, this is one of those like, I'm just straight up not stressing out about it. The worst outcome I think is to have like a big pocket of fat that could just like explode or otherwise ruin some of the cuts when you do get to serving. And so for small stuff like that, again, I'm just not stressing out about it. Kind of going for that 80-20 approach. We're getting out 20% of your fat, or 20% of your cuts is going to get you 80% of the goodness there. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. There we go. Chop off that fat boy. I've heard that if you are interested in making burnt ends, some of that goodness is going to come from here. That's part of the point. I haven't made burnt ends, but I've had them before. They're really good. But I'm just going to like discard it there. I feel like in most barbecue videos, they would go ahead and mention that. Alright. So with that, you know, as I flip this back over, sorry, the paper's in the way. Fiesta rip. Oh yeah, dude. Seriously. Feels bad, man. I'm seeing this, the meat kind of just opens up for me. I'm seeing more of this deco here that I can pull out.
And everybody thinks the other side is the bad guy.
Oh.
But I think that's right.
Louis, I thought about you today while I was at Costco. There's definitely a few good instances of the bigger the panza. And just made me think of you warmly, lovingly. Good. Right, cool. Cakes, do you want me to hold on to this fat for rendering or anything?
Yeah.
And I can't put it in the green bin, right? They don't want fat.
In the what bin?
The green bin, the compost? We can? Will you grab that little bin for me, please?
Yes. I'm just going to grab you a bag.
Okay. Sorry, I need to like clean up all this richness. You can see this big pile of fat that has come off. That's why we should not be afraid of big pieces of meat, ladies and gentlemen. It's not just that's what she said, but also just because like when you are trimming it, a lot is going to come off. So you can see that's our big pile of trimmings right there.
Which you can render in a slow cooker.
Yeah.
And you wind up with beef tallow.
Yeah, as Morgan says, and we've done this before, you can render, you can put in a slow cooker and render it down. You can turn it into beef tallow. Morgan made French fries using that beef tallow, which were divine. It was just like, I think, so much work. And I didn't even do it.
Well, making the French fries from scratch. I bet if you could render beef tallow and then buy some pre-frozen ones.
Yeah.
And do those in the beef tallow.
All right, good. I actually am.
That'd be great. Who's watching the stream?
You actually know what you're doing. I think I have a couple of the boys on. More than that. What, you know where else that beef is going to render? It's going to render in our compost bin. It's 100% outside.
Should I put it in the freezer till Wednesday?
It might not be a bad idea to put it in the freezer. All right, cool. So here's our special proprietary blend. Now just a little bit more salt than pepper. And
that's just because we use diamond crystal kosher salt.
yeah, and again, that's because of the brand of kosher salt that we like to use, diamond crystal.
Half and half salt and peppers.
Yeah, and now it's I'm just gonna like start to apply liberally. And if I could give you my GoPro approach, I would, but here we are. So let's see, just everybody, I don't know. I've watched like a ton of YouTube videos about brisket and other parts of barbecue. And like everybody uses a shaker. I don't have a shaker. I'm also not trying to sell a shaker, so maybe that's why I don't have one. But, you know, there is such a thing as too much, but it's extremely hard to get there. We're not gonna get there today. Yeah, I wish I had a little tripod or something, so that way you can see more of this. But here we go. We'll put that as an action item for the next brisket, right? So I'm just gonna like tap this fat boy down. Yeah. Okay, so I'm putting beef hands on this thing. On the jar, yeah. Thanks. Just don't let me forget in case we try and put it away. But yeah, I'll just like pick it up on the sides, so that way we're getting stuff of the goodness. All parts of the brisket are important there. Could take a little bit more off the flat, but again, I'm just not sure. I could be wrong. Again, I'm wrong all the time. And so we'll just write it in the journal, in the barbecue journal, so we'll know how we did. We can compare it for better and future versions of this brisket. I'm thinking about this brisket, honestly, as a warm-up brisket for next week. So Stella's birthday is on Tuesday, and probably having a little bit of a get-together. And, you know, would love to do a brisket then, but I was at H-E-B just doing regular shopping a few days ago, and I saw that they had these prime briskets out, and which they don't always have at the H-E-B I like to go to. And I texted Morgan, I was like, please, and she said, yeah. So this is, I'm thinking about this as a warm-up brisket. We're also thinking we're probably gonna end up freezing a good deal of it, because I don't have enough people here to eat 15 pounds worth of brisket, probably down to 13 at this point, 12 perhaps, based on that trimming we did. And you can see we've still got some of this left over. But yeah, I'm feeling good, supportive about what we've been able to get done here. Yeah. So I'll wash my hands one more time so I can pick up my phone. Sorry to be so high maintenance here. Again, if I was a real pro, I would do it with a glove and I'd have like one dirty hand, one clean hand, but not a professional. And gloves, as with so many other things these days, are just hard to come by. Yeah, we all gotta bear our burdens. But yeah, here's again what I think of as the bottom of the brisket. I just got good covering there. That salt and pepper. This is gonna live in the refrigerator for until about 6, 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. I'll get up early, try and beat the kids awake, so that way I'm not inconveniencing Morgan and everybody else too much, but just get that fire lit, get this thing going, and yeah, we'll see how the stuff goes tomorrow. But that is my trim of the brisket stream. And as well as my first run on Twitch, so thanks for dialing in, guys. Thanks to Cakes over there sorting clothes and getting things ready to go. Real shout out to Stella, Ricky, and Daniel Tiger for, again, taking care of the babies. But yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe. Use your Twitch Prime sub. Let me know. We can keep making... we can keep streaming like this. I might stream when we get the fire going tomorrow morning, but I don't know who else is going to be awake, so we'll play it by ear. But yeah, thanks to you guys so much. I will see y'all soon. We'll sub for brisket. Dude, I got you, baby. All right, I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye.